Welcome everyone to the Film Vault. That is Anderson. I'm Brian Bishop in separate locales today due to Anderson being a little case of the sniffles, under the weather. How you feeling, buddy?
I'm all right. Can you hear me? Did you hear the freak out that I've already had?
No. What happened with your freak out?
Because you're on the same pod, because the way that we have it set up is I'm playing the music through the Kyle board, and which I have at this end, and then I also have you on the same fader because it's all coming through the same thing. I can't have separate faders because we're remote right now and we haven't got this adjusted. So yeah, we could barely hear your film vault. There's really no way around that unless I were to mix it afterwards, which I'm not going to do. I'm not going to do it.
Do it.
No, I have the sniffles. I don't want to do that. Yeah, so we were all set to record in person per usual, even though our producer is out gallivanting in Sweden. Fuckhead that he is.
We know where he is for sure.
You have a show to produce, a very important show to produce, and you say yes to an invitation to go to Sweden. Seems rude.
This will have to be discussed with HR.
Isn't that us?
Yeah. So let's discuss.
HR? So, anyways,
HR Giger
was very excited to do this week's episode. Sans producer with Brian, and then we're gonna have Jordan Montgomery, the one and only, who was going to join us.
The great Jomo
at your place, and then I called a last minute audible with the sickness rising to new levels. Brian, it was. I could deal with it this morning. I didn't think it was much of anything. I was feeling pretty good, and then it started getting worse. And I'm like, I don't want to get Brian sick. I don't want to get Jordan
very
sick.
Thoughtful. I appreciate it. Christy's parents just tested positive for COVID today, so the walls are closing in.
When did you last see them?
I haven't seen them in a long time, a couple of weeks at least.
Yeah,
that's a long time in our world because they live up the street.
How many days?
Well, no, they I think they just got it over the weekend and tested positive today. I haven't seen them in a couple of weeks at least.
Okay, that's what you're saying. So, anyways, Jordan joins us today. Jordan, hello. Jordan got us connected up here, and we got video going somehow. Oh no, Jordan.
Oh no, Jordan's gone.
Jordan, are you there?
I'm here. Hello.
Hey, my God, definitely.
Jordan sounds better than both of us. I can tell you that.
I got that Yeti mic.
So, Brian, unfortunately,
is that to keep drinks cool?
Hey, Brian, you know what? You can just not use your microphone anymore because
I'm recording over here.
Yeah, but we don't need it.
I disagree. Listen, if this episode goes south, I want my part to be the history record.
Didn't he sound better before? Is he back on his laptop audio? What?
No, I'm still in the same.
He sounds just as good as he has. I think he sounds fine.
Thank you, Jordan. Thank you, Jomo. Hey, let me ask you a question, Jordan. Is the Jomo thing catching on? Are people now addressing you as that since they heard this podcast?
I keep walking down the street and people shout Jomo, and it's a more common occurrence. Yeah, I like it. I really like
cars,
it.
I assume there's
Exactly. Like, I've never seen that guy, but that looks like he might be Jomo.
So we're not going to do music on this episode. All right, we're just going to go flat. I don't care. It's unforeseen circumstances. We're not going to play music ins. We're not going to play music out. All right, just no music. All right, just dry. That's fine. We're going to deal with that. All right, no clips. Right?
What a week for our producer to be in fucking Europe.
Well, what can you do? I mean, it's like there are things that can be done, but not really. So because I just went through my head, there's not even a way that I can mix it after the fact. So we're just dealing with this. All right, it's gonna be a dry episode. That's fine. We have a lot to cover.
I imagine the majority of our audience is audio only, old school podcast. That's funny, we call it old school at this point. Podcasts are 10 years old, if that. But will this audio we're recording now for the video be their audio, or are we going to give them their normal serving?
No, the only audio they're getting is what you and I are hearing right now. So it's your shit audio. It's all right. I mean, people are used to hearing you sound like shit, so that's not.
I have a nice microphone on a Zoom recorder.
I'm telling you, take it out of your face. There's no need for it. There's no need for it. None.
It's my comfort mic.
Have you told the fine people what we're going to be talking and discussing today?
Oh, well, we are going to be talking. Hold on. I got notes. We were assigned. Were we assigned villains, or did you assign that to me?
Oh, my God. Villains was assigned by a listener. Brian, you have to be able to pull your weight a little bit, just a tiny bit.
I have a Zoom recorder going. I'm pulling more than my weight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Zoom recorder is not necessary. That's what I keep telling you. Please just get that out of the way.
I
It's just
will
in
not.
the way.
I will not. Yes, villains will be talked about. Speaking of evil will be talked
Of
about. I'll be
course,
flickfessing a. I'll
Stephen
be
Morris,
flickfest.
the assigner who assigned us villains, with the one and only Pennywise, starring the one and only Pennywise, Bill
True.
Skarsgård.
Tim Curry. And I'll be talking about a music documentary, and Anderson will hit us with something else.
Yes, that's right. All right, let's go. Let's get into this. Oh, we got a little fanflictions though, going to be brought to us this week by Jordan Montgomery.
Yeah, so we got Diverge on Reddit.
Wait a minute, hold on. So sorry. Jesus. We have not done ourselves any favors with the plugging of the old YouTube and all of the great work that you've been doing with the shorts and the putting things together and posting and the thumbnails. And that's Jordan Montgomery, and he's here on the show, and we still almost forgot to plug it. So, Jordan, you've been doing really good work over there with the feed, and this week's it's going to be a little uglier than normal with me lounging on my green couch here in the guest room, sick as can be. But yeah, you're very creative, and you're doing some really good work. So I just wanted to give a shout out there. So far, the two that you've put together have been the shorts that you've put together have been the advent of our theme song, which was the DuckTales theme song, blatant ripoff, as well as the Clown Not There lore, legendary clip.
Yes,
good stuff.
And I've gotten many suggestions for more, so they will be coming your way, hopefully weekly. And Mitch Burns just made a TikTok as well. It's up, and he'll be posting those there as well. So check all those out.
Jordan, excuse me, Jomo. What are some of the more frequent requests in terms of the shorts? Are you getting tease us with a couple that we might see soon?
I did get a lot of the Honeyland.
Understandable.
You know, that Flickfession.
That's already a standalone review on our YouTube channel, which is just YouTube.
Yes.
Go over there, give us a subscribe as well. Like, subscribe, subscribe. And then we will get this video show up and running even better than it is right now as we record. If we get to our target of 1,000, just 1,000, I think we're getting close.
People also want a little compilation of the window sightings, so could be working on that sometime soon as well.
Such a waste of time. Brian looking out the window is not good.
Oh yeah, you want to do that? Want to do a compilation?
Yeah.
Like, how is that good for anyone? People got to be fucking around.
Sometimes a dog walks by, and people need to know.
Oh, buddy, you're telling me.
I'm watching Brian do it right now. He's doing theater for us, so that's great. Sorry. And also, I was derelict in my duty last week when David Gulick was kind enough to support the program, and I did not even give his plugs. He was the one who assigned us Over the Edge, Brian. And
Over the Hedge?
Over the Hedge. David Gulick, who does a lot of listener art for us, and he also does his own TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. It's Dave Likes Movies on all three: TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. Dave Likes Movies, and he talks about these movies in quick little bites. And a lot of our listeners have been reviewing movies, also on Relay, Brian, which I bet you still have not been on Relay, but I've been doing more and more on Relay. Oh, Relay. In fact, I saw a movie called Piggy, and I give a quick little review of Piggy on Relay. I don't even know if I'm going to talk about it on this here program. Check out Relay if you love movies, and it's just such a nice, welcoming community over there too. No one's a dick to anyone. It's good stuff. So Relay is something that I highly suggest. Jordan, I'm going to invite you into our group, and I think we're going to be doing it for Patreon only soon, where we can all give our little video reviews of films and small bite-size video reviews. So
awesome.
Yes. But check out that Dave Likes Movies on the old Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. All right, Dave. Sorry, I fucked that up last week, and there you go. All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Fanflictions?
Yes.
Please.
Alrighty. So we got Diverge on Reddit. He saw Halloween Ends. No spoilers, but let's just say it's not the Halloween movie I expected. This is not a good movie, but I gotta give the filmmakers credit for having the guts to throw us a curveball.
You want to hear something? I watched the end of that movie.
Wow.
Just the end?
Yeah, I fast forwarded the last 20 minutes, and I watched all the blood and gore, and I'm like, oh, okay. Is that the twist? Is that a twist, really? That's a twist, because
you wanted to see how Halloween ends?
Yeah. You got to give them credit, though, because you know they're going to bring it back.
How does Halloween Ends end?
It's like the 70-year-old band that keeps, hanging it up. Final tour, and then they come back when they're 75. This is it. We promise. And the band comes back like half of them are dead. This is the last time we're doing this.
All right, we got Rafa Dagama on Reddit. Watched The Hidden. Whoa, this movie fucks. A fun ride from the opening chase scene. A fun mix of The Thing, They Live, Terminator, and a little cocaine. It's streaming on the Criterion 80s Horror Collection. Check it out.
In.
What's not to like by that description?
I'm in.
Right? We got Corey Barnes on Facebook. She saw Brian and Charles. I heard you boys talking about this, and I figured I'd never get around to seeing it, but when it popped up on Peacock, I decided to give it a go. I wanted to hate this so much, and these stupid characters just wouldn't let me. None of this should work, but it's just so quirky and delightful. Any Peacock subscribers, please check this out.
Check it out, guys. Yeah, it's she's exactly right. Assuming that Corey is a girl, it's one of those rare movies where like parts of it were 5 stars and parts of it were like 2 stars at best. But everything said and done, Brian and Charles is well worth your time. Brian, Charles, Brian,
Rescue.
try and protest.
Lastly, we have Lord Longshadow on Twitter. I watched David Cronenberg's Crash. What can I say? I will never forget it and never recommend it. I would also love to live in a world where public sex is never interrupted.
Brian, you've never seen that Crash, have you?
I've seen Crash. Our Italian friend Alex, my old roommate, loved Crash. He watched Crash a lot.
Nobody loves Crash. He watched it a lot.
It was on frequently in our home.
That is bizarre.
Yeah,
That-
it was bizarre.
That
A
is
lot
just
of it.
bizarre. I'm still not super excited about this setup. I'm not super pumped that I have to go with your shitty audio when I'm in charge, and I feel like Avery's going to come back and say, "See, you see, Anderson, what happens when I'm gone." But
There's an easy way to fix that.
how can we fix that, Brian?
I'll send you the Zoom file.
Do you not understand?
Do
you not understand? Look, I'm recording at my end, but it's also recording the shit audio of yours on my file. So there's no just melding yours in there unless we'd have double Brian.
Splice
Maybe
it. Splice
shit
it.
audio.
Splice it.
Listen to Brian talking.
Splice it.
All right, let's get into the movies we've seen, and we can talk about it together.
Hey, can you adjust the mix minus?
Oh my God, shut the fuck up. Jordan, thank you very much for the little fan flick on there. It's always nice to hear what the listeners
Is that
have
the
been
last
watching.
time we're going to hear from Jordan?
No, I'm sure that I'll lean on Jordan here and there if I can, if I may. Jordan, you'll be around.
I'm
right?
here if you need
You'll
me.
be here.
I'm here.
Jordan's currently recording our Discord through the OBS, and then he'll be posting it to YouTube. There's all sorts of stuff happening here. All right, Brian, what have you seen?
I saw some movies.
So it works.
What are we going to talk about first? You had an interesting setup to your assignment last week. You didn't give me a choice, but you said you wanted to either do Emily the Criminal or Speak No Evil, and you said Speak No Evil might be the lesser of the two movies, but more to talk about.
No, what?
Isn't that what you said?
No. I said Speak No Evil you would like less, but it would be way more fun to talk about. I would never suggest that Speak No Evil is the lesser of the two with the Emily the Criminal versus Speak No Evil. No.
That's what you said.
Did not say that. I didn't check the tape all day long. I said you would like Emily the Criminal a whole lot more than Speak No Evil, but Speak No Evil would lend to a better discussion for sure.
Okay, well, I chose Emily the Criminal, so Emily the Criminal is a 2022 film. You okay? You're rubbing your eyes there. That feels hot.
If you're kidding, because I didn't give you a choice. I didn't give you a choice.
Speak No Evil is a 2022 film directed by Christian Taftrup.
Fuck to the yes.
Christian Taftrup.
Stuck
Clocking in at 84% of Rotten Tomatoes. You can stream this on Shudder or AMC, or like I did, you can rent it. This premiered at Sundance. This is a Shudder original. And it is, I guess that makes it a horror movie by definition, but not a ton of horror. What?
You're saying that it's a horror because it's on Shudder?
Well, I'm saying a lot of elements of it would indicate that it's a horror film. However, the movie itself is soft pedaling the horror. Would you not agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, this is situational
This is not
horror.
Halloween Ends, I imagine.
This is like sit horror, right? Like instead of a sitcom, it's like situational horror.
It's
right?
like if Ruben Östlund did a horror movie, because there's plenty of awkwardness to go around in this one.
There really is. So why don't you set the scene there? Because I I really, and I think that you and I are going to be able to enjoy this a lot more than other people who aren't of the same age in relationships with younger children, right? I don't know if enjoyed is the right word. Parts of it are very enjoyable. Yes. Go ahead.
That's interesting you say that. So, what do you want me to set up the plot?
Yeah.
So, okay, so I didn't write down any character names, so maybe you can help me out there. But our main couple. Oh, hold on. His name is Bjorn. Bjorn and his wife and their small child, maybe 8-year-old daughter. Would you say she was about 8 years old or so?
7, 8, 9. Yeah.
7, 8, 9. Cast a wide net. They go on vacation and they are out enjoying the world, and they meet another couple on vacation, as people do. I think we all have experienced to some degree with vacation friends, and they make friends, and they have a little boy who has a speech issue. He does not talk. He doesn't really communicate verbally, and you're left wondering: is he IDD in some way? Is there some sort of mental issue? But either way, they make friends. One of them is Danish and one of them is Dutch, the couples that is. And they agree to, they exchange numbers. And I think they make some sort of soft plans like you do with, vacation friends. Hey, let's get together sometime. Oh, sounds great. And then out of the blue, here comes a text to Bjorn and his wife saying, hey, let's get together. Come on up to our beautiful country home. You can stay with us for what seems like a weekend or whatever, and it'll be a wonderful time. The kids can play, et cetera, et cetera. I got the impression they thought it was a little weird, like, oh, I almost forgot about that couple, but yeah, I mean, we could. Sounds kind of nice. And they make the road trip up to their home in the remote area of their land. I think they were the
Holland.
Dutch couple.
Yes.
No, they were the Danish couple.
Danish couple makes the drive from Denmark to Holland.
Aha, that makes sense. And weirdness ensues.
Yeah, weirdness in the sense that it's just uncomfortable interactions. And the wife of the Danes, this gets a little bit confusing with the Dutch and the Danes and whatnot, but the wife of a lot of it is a power struggle where the husband of the couple that's invited to go to Holland, he wants to get out. He wants to do stuff. You can tell that feels like he's pinned down and he's not living his best life, and he's not really, ready to have the family that he has, and he wants to be able to drink and booze with other men. He doesn't get a chance to, so he kind of jumps at this opportunity, and you can tell his wife wasn't nearly as into it. And they make the travel over there, and on their arrival, she's a vegetarian. She's made that known early on. Upon their arrival, the Dutch husband insists that she eat a bite of the wild boar that they're having, and that's just the jumping off point. There's many moments where it just gets uncomfortable, and I feel like if you're a couple and you've ever spent quality time with another couple, it's going to affect you even more so, because it's just so awkward. Like there's a drunken dinner scene where the Dutch dude just demands that his guests pay for it, which was out of the blue.
Yeah, and then that was the funny part. He didn't demand. He was like, remember the guy's like, oh, so we're splitting it? He's like, oh, that's so nice. Thank you very much. And then he puts his card down. And it's the only card. And he goes, so I'm paying for this dinner? He goes, oh, that's so nice of you. Thank you.
Yeah, it's not a demand, but like passive aggressive, he gets him to do it.
Manipulation.
And then he goes off about Dutch cheese, and and
he makes her eat pork.
It becomes more and more uncomfortable, and there's this aggressive horn-laden score that makes it even more uncomfortable throughout. It's just like the sense of dread and Curb Your Enthusiasm style comedy melded into the really great performances, as well as the two little kids are kind of off to the side, but there's this one, you're wondering like, where's the horror? And you got that sense of dread, it's coming, and there's a scene with their little boy who has a speech impediment where he opens his mouth and you see something that's lacking in there that will haunt you. I mean, you'll remember that probably forever. There's no need for that. And then ultimately it comes down to, I really like this movie, and I'm continuing to grapple with its meaning and where it was going. And at first, Brian, without talking about the end, it seemed like the horror ending was kind of tacked on to kind of just cessate the horror fans and to call it a horror film. Like it could have gone in so many different directions. But I
It really
think
could have.
the more that I think about the movie, the more I think that was the entire point of the film was the the strong armed and the one I'm being really careful because I don't want to give anything away, but I think that it was all about control and about doing what you can to others because they will let you or they
Yeah,
won't.
in a sense, it's kind of like Get Out. You know what I mean, with a little less blood. But I mean, in the sense of taking whatever you want, whether it be a person or anything.
Did you enjoy the awkward comedy and setups?
Yeah, it was my favorite part of the movie. I thought I did. I felt the same way as you, where I'm like, this third act feels a little tacked on, feels a little not very well thought out. But then I kind of came to the same or a similar realization, which is the movie was subtly pushing you that way in the way of horror, because or a horrific ending, I guess you'd call it, because it does have this pervasive sense of dread. You know what I mean? You're never quite comfortable with the hosting couple.
Yeah, no, to the point where there are some escapes that are attempted, and you're rooting for the escape to complete, and then one thing leads to another, and they're right back where they. And when I say escape, I mean we've all been in that situation where we're being hosted, and we just are not comfortable with the hosts, and we don't want to be in the whether it's like friends of friends or friends or like even like a a Airbnb situation or a bed and breakfast. We've all been there where we're like very nice, but I don't want to be here anymore. Like I need to get out.
Sure.
And it was really, really well done, and I appreciate it. It's one of my favorites of the year, and I think the more I think about it, the more I like it. And the whole Dutch cheese, uh, rant was fantastic. That's almost worth the price of admission right there. I mean, he's just furious that Dutch cheese does not get the due that he expects it, that he just feels that it should. As a Dutch man, he's very proud and he's upset that it's the Swiss cheese and all these other cheeses that get the accolades when Dutch cheese is fantastic. Evidently,
Yeah, the movie does a really good job of something that's really hard, which is managing tone. Because there are parts that are funny. There's lots of parts that are awkward. There's parts that are just disquieting, disturbing, and then there's parts that are straight out horrific.
it's like it's force majeure a little bit, but not nearly as subtle, which I appreciate. Right? I
Yeah,
mean,
I
the
guess that's
Europeans are much better, I think, at subtlety and taking a look at relationships and awkwardness than most American. I mean, I can't imagine this being an American film. Maybe I'm not being fair, but it seems so European as far as how they're willing to examine the intricacies of relationships and awkwardness and different cultures as well. Well, this would be like akin to like somebody from Florida going to visit someone from New York or something, right?
Yeah, speaking of which, it did bother me that the daughter's name is spelled Agnes. We would pronounce it Agnes, but the entire time they're pronouncing it Hannes.
Does that upset you?
I mean, think of anus.
Oh, I see. That would upset me
I
as
didn't
well.
like that.
Did it bother you, this movie? Do you think it was harder for you because you have a daughter and less difficult for me because I have a son?
No, because she was acting like a shit, and I wanted her out of my life.
Really?
No,
I thought she was fine.
no, she's delightful.
Yeah, I didn't think the daughter was okay.
Oh yeah, I'm talking about Tessa.
Oh, I see. Yes, yes. So you could use this as fantasy almost. All
That's
right.
right.
Um,
Escapism.
escape.
Bjorn, the visiting husband, is a bit of a puss.
Is he?
Well, I mean, when horrific things start to happen to members
Yeah, I mean,
of
well,
his
I feel like we've
family,
said enough. I feel like we've said enough, and that's I think the entire commentary of the movie and the message of the movie is just that. So I think we can leave it there, Brian. Yeah, I mean, we've tiptoed right up to the edge, and then there you are, swan diving off.
can I just point out that the ultimate scheme is needlessly elaborate?
Hmm.
Hmm.
I mean, not when you actually take a step back and you look about the title and perhaps what you know. Perhaps like the we can't talk about it without talking about it unless you want to do a bonus episode on this.
No one's going to see this.
What are you talking about? No one's going to see this.
No one
Everyone should
listens
see
to
it.
us.
This is a great movie that everyone. Hey, Jordan, you have any interest in watching the Speak No Evil after hearing us two fools talk about it? And we've done a good job of selling it.
I mean, I always have an interest in seeing movies, so yeah, I would say you've piqued my interest for
All
sure.
right, thank you. Well
Good
said.
contribution.
I'm glad that he agreed. Can you imagine? He's like, "Fuck no, you guys."
Like, no, if anything, I'm way off now.
Shit review.
I was mildly interested before.
I do think you guys should do more spoilers though. So I mean, if you feel it's
I-
necessary, then
Yeah, this guy does not like to, and when I say this guy, I'm talking about Brian. It's hard to. That's why I spoiled the fuck out of what was it a couple weeks ago, and I got a bunch of flack about it.
The fucking bank robbery movie.
John Boyega. What's the name of that movie? And I spoiled it really good because I wanted. I'm like, Brian, we should do a spoiler. No, thanks. I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'll just spoil
Don't
it.
try to reverse engineer it like you're doing some sort of cunning gameplay.
breaking.
What is this breaking? Thank you, Jordan. Thank you very much. Breaking.
What's breaking news?
All right, so Speak No Evil. I recommend here 2022 Speak No Evil. Let's move on, Brian, to a movie that was brought to us by a signer, Stephen Morris. He also brought us not too long ago. He was a decider, and he brought us top 5 gifts. Top 5 gifts,
Nice.
which was a good. That was a good. Do you remember top 5 gifts, Brian?
I thought it was pronounced GIFs.
No, it's GIFTS, Brian.
I'm totally off then.
Ridiculous joke you made there. I don't like it. I wish you could take it back. Is that possible?
We fix that in post.
I'm not going to do that. I'm too sick and tired. I really cannot do that. All right, so
Villains is a 2019 film written and directed by Dan Burke and Robert Olson, starring the aforementioned Bill Skarsgård, Malika Monroe. You might know her from It Follows. Oh, Bill Skarsgård from It and Malika Monroe from It Follows. Jeffrey Donovan, great character actor. You might know from Sicario and Wrath of Man. And Kira Sedgwick. This is a similar movie in a sense. Two couples, both have divergent interests in seeing this plot play out. 85% Rotten Tomatoes. You can stream this on Hulu. The script, Anderson, was featured on the 2016 Blacklist.
I can see that.
Feels like a COVID movie, even though it was released in 2019.
Yeah, it does feel like another one of these COVID movies, and it was released during COVID times. I guess it got a little bit of a push there and a little help. It was soon after COVID hit. That's what Stephen was telling me today when we talked to him on the phone. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I'm going off of what Stephen said. I think he saw it during COVID. So, anyways, this is an interesting movie that starts off with the young couple who's holding up a liquor store or something, and they get some cash, and they're drug addicts, and they're about to hit the road, and we're about to see them go on a crime spree. That's what we think. And they have some car issues, and they have to make lucky for them, they see a house within a half mile. So they go to the house, they break in.
They're in the middle of the wilderness, basically.
Yeah, they're out in the sticks, and they break in, and this house is empty. And so they enjoy themselves, and they start doing some more drugs, and they're checking out their loot. And this is all comedic to this point, where we're getting the setup of this young couple, and he's Bill Skarsgård is supposed to be kind of like suave, and he thinks of himself as a professional criminal, and he wants to pick the lock, but he's not very good at it, and because there's a deadbolt, and she takes care of business. So we're learning them, right? And then after they're in the house for a short period of time, they go downstairs and make a grisly discovery. It is I'm allowed to say, right?
It is pretty early in the movie. It's setting up the first act, yes.
They find a little girl who's chained to a very gross, dirty wall in a cellar, right?
It's an unsanitary environment. I wouldn't perform surgery down there.
Everything top shelf and everything we've seen, most of the movie takes place up in the house part, is overlit to the point that it looks like a rom-com or a sitcom. Like it's all bright colors, and the tone of this movie is very light, and it's comfort. It looks comforting. Like it's the kind of movie you watch and I almost felt shame because it's just so not gritty, right? But the subject matter is exceptionally dark and twisted, and that's what makes this movie really interesting. There's very few movies that are able to do this and pull it off, and I think they got a lot of the way there. I don't know if they got all the way there, but it was really fun watching them toe that line with really, really gritty. I mean, it's about child enslavement essentially, right? And
Yep.
is it torture? I don't even know if we got to the bottom of that. What's going on? But
I
that's
think
on
it was a
one.
bit. Honestly, I think it was a bit of a red herring. It was more about the couple, the bank robbing couple, and less about the girl. Even though that was like, oh wow, holy shit, what's going on here?
Yeah, I don't know if I ever quite got to the bottom of what the plan was. So, anyways, the couple that owns the house and in turn the little girl that's in their basement come home, and that's where the standoff begins. And then
A Goldilocks situation.
it's about the two couples and how the hunters become the hunted, and there's some really fun.
Two movies this week with mute kids.
It's true. That is correct.
Think about that.
Mm-hmm. Wish you were mute.
That's really hurtful. You would say that on
Yeah,
a podcast of all things.
I was my favorite part of this movie, other than the style in which they were trying to pull off with the bright, cheery aesthetics with the dark subject matter, was I really like seeing Bill Skarsgård. I would like to see more of Bill Skarsgård, and then in these kind of roles, I thought he was great.
I thought everyone was great in this movie. There's four principal speaking characters. I guess there's a fifth that shows up a little later, but yeah, I thought everyone was great in this movie. I enjoyed what's her name, Malika Monroe. What did I say? Yeah, Malika Monroe. Jeffrey Donovan's fantastic in everything. I'm actually most glad that he got a chance to kind of shine, spread his wings, because we've seen him be sort of that, quiet cop type, military type in Wrath of Man and Sicario, and it was nice to see him just do something totally different. So I enjoyed everyone.
Yeah, he was definitely doing the Toby Huss thing. Like he was that type of a character here, as well as what's his name, Daniel James Bond in Knives Out. What's his fucking name?
Not quite as well, maybe. Yeah. No, I'm with you. I was
Right?
not quite as
They give him a
cartoony,
lot
but
of
it was a little over the top.
They let him do a whole lot of shit. Like they let him loose, right?
I literally wrote a single note for this movie, and that was that it was like watching like a really good like cover band at a bar, like a bar band, like that brings nothing new to the table, but in an enjoyable way to kill 90 minutes. Like this was a fun watch. I don't think I found anything innovative here or kind of special, but it was enjoyable.
No, I disagree with you there, because I do think that the lighting and the
lighting,
the cheeky, the way that this movie was presented does not, like, if you were to see this script, you would not imagine these images in your head at all, right?
Yeah, you're right. The tone it does shift, back and forth quite a bit.
So yeah, I think that it was a very light romp with very, very dark undertones, which is unique. And then Donovan is Burn Notice is I think where most people would know he was lead in Burn Notice.
I don't know what that is.
Well, this is where we're going to take a quick break without music. Hear what this sounds like without music. Imagine a show without music. Imagine.
I'm imagining it right now.
And now, actually, we should do a quick little feels.
Oh, jeez, you button hooked me.
Fuck it. We don't need feels. We don't need it. What are we going to put there? Nothing. All right. It's good. I'll deal with it. And we're back. Oh, Mike, the part that I forgot to bring up that I really liked was the hair shots, Brian. The hair shots were super cool.
Hair shots.
The hair shots where she would like hug him, and like there was a shot of her up her face, and like her hair was surrounding him. She called it like a car wash, I think, and it felt like elevated student filmmaking, which that doesn't sound. I mean that in the best possible way. It feels like they know what they're doing. They have some ideas. They want to take some chances, and they got a budget, and they went out there and did that. This is like I think the third.
I'm not trying. I hope I didn't come off as very critical of this movie. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun, easy, enjoyable watch. Just didn't find anything I was like, wow, I'm gonna remember that forever. It was more like, that was a nice slice of pie.
Seeing Bill Skarsgård in a role that's not Pennywise was, I think I'm gonna notice him. This is the most I've ever noticed him other than Pennywise, right? Because a lot of time he's background, he's wearing a bunch of makeup and CGI. So I got to see his comedic chops, and that was nice.
Yeah, fun movie. I enjoyed it. Thank you. Who was the assigner? If not on our notes.
Stephen Morris.
Stephen Morris. Thank you,
Yes.
Stephen.
And
If you want to assign us a film, Anderson, tell them how to do that after you're done coughing.
you go up to the over to our Patreon, and the signer level. The assigner level will get you 6 months of the assigner level for $25 a month. You can pick just about any movie that you would like us to watch, and we will watch it, and we will discuss it here on the program. And this is the perfect kind of movie, because I remember Greg Strzavosky loves this movie. He's my co-host on Cinematics, and I remember him bringing it up when the movie came out, Villains. And I never got a chance to see it, and I can't imagine ever going back to watch Villains. I don't know if I'd ever find the time in my life to go back and watch Villains. Here comes Stephen Morris. He's at the assigner level for 6 months. He gets to assign us a movie. It's a great excuse to watch Villains and bring it to the program, because it's a movie that I would have otherwise never had a chance to go back and see. So
Same. Is Jordan posting this episode, doing all the technical things?
with YouTube, I will be doing it for the RSS feed, which means podcast feed.
Well, to be sure to put. Okay, so did you your third movie? Did you like it? Is that a movie you like?
Yeah.
Okay,
Why?
well, let me do mine first then.
Do you love yours? I mean,
No, not at all.
Oh, he's a music.
No. It was underwhelming. But I want to put it in the title, because I think there'll be some interest in it. So Jordan and or Anderson, be sure to include Moon Age Daydream. Moon Age Daydream is a 2022 documentary directed by the great Brett Morgan. He, the director of The Kid Stays in the Picture and Montage of Heck, the Kurt Cobain documentary. 92% Rotten Tomatoes. Moon Age Daydream. This is in theaters now. It is an IMAX only release, so it's still playing at a lot of theaters. Well, not a lot, but it's still playing at a number of theaters in IMAX. And it is Anderson, are you familiar with this at all?
Yeah, of course. I was excited about it, and then somehow I let you tell me that I would not like it. And
I think I texted you during the movie. I'm like, you would absolutely hate this, because
Why?
I had considered assigning it to you when it came out. I was kind of excited for it, and I went to see it alone. And from the theater, I texted Anderson. I said, "You would not like this." Not because anything about David Bowie. I don't know much about the guy other than the top level stuff that everyone knows. What's that?
He's a musician.
He is, and an actor and artist, lots of things. And this is
Ziggy Stardust over there, Brian.
Yeah, Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars and
Dancing
all
in the
the stuff.
streets, Brian. Dancing in the streets. He did.
He did do a version of Dance. That is one of his least celebrated works. But you are correct. He did do a version of Dancing with Mick Jagger.
Yes.
Trent Reznor.
He did.
I don't know what that is.
You don't know who Trent Reznor is?
No, I don't know their connection.
Oh my God, no! They worked together on a project.
Well, I would have loved to have known all that. Unfortunately, this is best described as a tone poem. I don't know about you, Anderson. I hate when I hear that. This movie is kind of a tone poem. It lacks a strong narrative, and I will say it is a cinematic experience. The lights, the colors, the images is all very vibrant and in your face, and comes and goes as a recurring motif. I would have preferred a more straightforward narrative. Like, I want to know more about David Bowie. I want to hear from people who knew him. But unfortunately, it's a lot of him. It's done in the kind of like Montage of Heck, where it's like Kurt Cobain kind of narrating his own diary. Imagine that, but David Bowie and no diary, where he's just kind of musing on his career and his life. And we see a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And I do have to acknowledge that it is a technically well-made movie, in the sense that it does achieve a tone, it does achieve a look and a feel that is consistent and unique. That said, I think I would have liked it more as a more traditional documentary. It was not that. It was almost full-length song performances, and then like a color mosaic, and then David Bowie mumbling about his life, in an interview or something. They just took the audio and laid it over images of him. And I don't know. I understand the mythos of David Bowie already. I get it. He means a lot to certain people. I would like to understand more about his life, career, accomplishments, failures. It didn't get into that.
Yeah, I wonder if it's one of these. where
I don't
like
know if you're a huge Bowie fan and you already know a lot about the
yeah,
man and the work and the whatever. This might be just the best thing you've ever seen. I'm not a huge Bowie fan. I'm kind of ambivalent. I'm like, I like some stuff, don't like others. Those are weird for me. And I didn't get what I was hoping out of this.
so if it was like a painting, it'd be like an abstract painting of Bowie's head like exploding rather than a realistic portrait.
Yes,
Is what you're
correct. And I can only assume Brett Morgan, really talented filmmaker, knew intended on doing just this. So mission accomplished. I don't know.
yeah, he
That's for
probably is such a more. I mean, we're jumping to conclusions here, but he's probably such a Bowie fan that he's like that would be boring to just do a paint by
yeah,
numbers,
possible.
But Bowie's so big. We're gonna. I mean, he also did. You put on the red shoes, Brian. You got the red shoes over there. The red shoes.
Yeah, they got into like the later part of his career, Modern Love and Put On Your Red Shoes. That's my least favorite version of the man, but I would have liked to have known more about his acting career, and it just it was more of a love letter.
How David Bowie saved Trent Reznor's life. There's an article. Trent Reznor recalls how David Bowie helped him
Right?
get sober. Oh, look at that.
I
Who
didn't know
knew? Yeah,
that.
they worked together on a song that I listened to quite a bit for a minute. Something to do with America. I forget what it was.
I'm afraid
Good
of
song.
Americans.
What's that?
I'm afraid of Americans.
Is that it? Is that the song?
Well, Bowie had a big sort of comeback hit like in the 90s, late 90s with I'm Afraid of Americans. And it did, now that I think about it, that song had a bit of a Nine Inch Nails feel. It was a little industrial, at least for the Bowie.
It wasn't 90s though. It was like
Was it early 2000s?
yeah, 97. I don't know. Maybe 1997. Look at that. Wow, is that long ago? God, life is just flying by. All
Yeah,
right,
I was in high
I
school
apology, Brian. It was
or
1997.
college. Yeah.
Huh. All right.
Mm.
I
Anyway,
apologize.
if,
Hey,
if
guys,
this
I
if
want to
what I
apologize.
said sounds appealing to you, it's probably your kind of movie. Sorry,
It does
go
not.
ahead.
It does not. No, I apologize for the state of me. I'm not being professional. Pulling it together. The quality. Everything. My brain is a fog. I feel like absolute hell. I'm getting worse by the moment. I'm fading,
You're
Brian.
sniffing.
Fading.
You're
I thought I'd be able to just pull it through and like not even like talk about it, but I'm pabbing out over here and I'm wilting. I'm wilting, and it's just everything. I can hear my toothless child out in the hallway running up and down. This is not professional. And
You are vaping though. Are you vaping Sudafed?
no, this is zero. This is just nervous habit because I'm an anxious person. There's zero nicotine in this thing. This is just
Oh,
purely like
terrible.
it's not. It's just mist, and it makes me feel a little bit better, Brett. Maybe I just need to chew some Nicorette right into the microphone. All right,
Right?
it's a shame because we have good movies, and what's even more of a shame is the top 5 is one of my favorites of the year, and that's Better as Horror, and I'm very excited.
That's funny you mention that because you realize we've only done this twice before in like 2013 and like
Oh, we forget.
2020.
We forget.
I know. I'm just saying, if we want to make it a thing, let's make it a thing.
I want it to be a thing. It's just we forget. We forget. All right, so let's get to our last film. Are you done?
I did
That's only
3.
2 movies. Is that 3?
Villains, Speak No Evil, and Moon Age Daydream.
That's true. Good point. I also like to thank Jordan again for helping us out and putting this together and being on the line here with us.
Happy to be here. Thank you for having
Look
me.
at Jordan. There he is. All right, here we go. My final movie is a movie that Brian, you would like this movie a lot, and I kind of feel a little guilty for not having you watch this one, but I really wanted to talk Speak No Evil with you. But Emily the Criminal is the type of movie that I think you would dig. It is directed by John Patton Ford. He has made a short before this. This is his directorial debut. It stars. I should also say it was written by John Patton Ford. It stars Aubrey Plaza. And
Is she the titular criminal?
She is Emily, yes, Ryan. She is Emily. Theo Rossi is also in this, as well as some other folks.
Love
So
Theo Rossi.
it's mainly a one-hander. It becomes a two-hander a little bit. But Emily is played by Aubrey Plaza, and it takes place out here in the Los Angeles, and she's got a mountain of student loans, Brian. And she works as like a upscale delivery food service where She does a lot of like food catering, the trays, the big trays that she brings to like offices and whatnot. It's not like she's going and picking up Jack in the Box. She works for a company,
I
but she
did
doesn't
that.
make a whole lot of money. What's that?
I did that. I did the catering thing for a summer, bringing the
Like actual?
huge trays and the locks, like cooler type things, all to keep it warm.
Yeah, she brings it to like office meetings and whatnot. And
Fucking brutal.
that's her gig. And early in the film, it sets up really well. It sets up the she has a really bad interview to begin with too, where she's trying to get a new job, and she lets the interviewer know that she lies and says that she doesn't have a criminal past except for one thing. And then he's like, "Well, we know about your criminal past," and she gets really pissed at him for trying to catch her in a lie. And she's like, quickly becomes me and says, "Well, fuck off. I don't need your job anyway, especially if you're going to be like dishonest like this."
You.
Yeah.
Good.
And we get to see that she's a tough cookie, and she takes care of business. She might have a personality disorder or something, but perhaps, or maybe she's just she's had a fucking assful of the way things are going for her and the way that the system's set up. So she, through a series of events, a coworker of hers, she does a solid for a coworker of hers, and she gets offered. He says, "Hey, thanks for covering my shift." It doesn't matter. He had a kid's baseball game that he had to get to, and she doesn't. He's like, "Hey, you want to make $200 tomorrow in an hour? Here, call that number. Text this number." And she does, and finds herself the next day in the valley out here by where I live, and she texts the number, and she gets like it just says, "Be here at this address tomorrow." She shows up. There's it's like an empty like big loft, and there's some tables set up, and it's got the dingy lighting, and the guy that she meets at the front is at this little like fold out table, and he's like, "Give me your ID." He's curt, and she goes in and she hears the spiel, and it's like, "You're going to be a dummy shopper, a DS, a dummy shopper. Anyone been a dummy shopper before?" One guy's like, "Yeah, I did it in Atlanta once or something." So what it is they take her picture and they make her a fake ID, and they give her a credit card with stolen numbers, but they make it all look good, and they say, "Here's where you're going. Here's follow these instructions. You're going here. You're buying a TV, and do that, and no questions asked. You pay for it, and you come back. You deliver to this address, and we give you $200 cash." And she does it, and they say, "You want to do this again tomorrow? $2,000." And a lot of back and forth in her head, like, should I do this? I need the money so bad, but I don't want to get in any more trouble. And the first one was really, really well, like the way that it was depicted was really well done. Like, you're stressed for her. The tension in this movie is very well delivered, set up and delivered. And it's not giant stakes, but it doesn't have to be. This is a great example of how a movie can be small stakes, but really, really get the viewer invested and care. I don't need the entire universe to be about to fold in on itself to actually care about what's going on. And that's an testament to the director as well as the actors. So Emily the Criminal, a lot of things go down, the spiral as she continues to go down this rabbit hole. I highly recommend this movie. I can't remember where I saw it, but it's streaming out there. It's VOD. And Emily the Criminal is a good little 2022 thriller that I think many people will enjoy quite a bit. This is a solid 4.5 star movie.
Nice. 94% Rotten Tomatoes. Where did you recommend watch this?
I don't know. It's streaming on one of the platforms, like I
Well
said.
done. Well done. Way to do your homework.
I mean, I can go and just watch right now. I can't remember where I watched it, Brian. I mean, that's not important. It's not like I'm constantly staring at the. Actually, you know what? There's not even a seal on it. There's not even a Chiron on it half the time. It's like,
You can rent this across multiple platforms, including Apple TV and Amazon Prime Video.
I think I got a link, if you must know. I can't remember. Bye.
Oh, you fucking illegally downloaded it from Europe?
No, Brian, I got a link from a studio, if you must know. I got a screener link. Jesus, Brian, you're so hard.
Thanks for sharing that, buddy.
I don't share. When's the last time you shared a link with me? Huh?
All the time.
All the time.
I mean, we usually have links to some filming funny I said on Twitter.
What? I don't understand.
The joke is not a link to a movie.
I'm gonna make myself some coffee for this next episode. I gotta pull through because
you really gotta buck up.
A lot of work went into the Better as Horror. I really enjoy it, and I can't be in this state because I'm not going to do it service. How do you feel about your
new plots for my 5 films?
What's that?
I fleshed out new plots for my 5 films.
Fun, right? It's a good
Yeah.
time. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, they let the mind wander free.
You know what really bothers me? You're still talking into the mic and it's dead.
I'm recording.
There's no need for you to be talking into that microphone at all. Okay. What do we do for the next one? Do we just say fuck the video and just do audio so that the audio sounds good? What do you say?
I don't give a shit.
Jordan, what do you think? You're producing this week. What do you say?
We're rolling. I say we keep it going with the video.
Wow.
It's working. So
Old.
All right, but
unless it makes you guys more comfortable, but I think it's working fine.
all right.
And the mic is Brian's comfort blanket. I
That's
understand.
right. I'm also recording.
Let the record show that I have to use my microphone because this is the only microphone I have. I don't have multi mics. All right. Well, I guess that's the show. I don't know if it's a full hour, but you know what? That's the kind of week.
Plug the watch along.
Oh yes. You know what, Brian? We might need to push that. Can
Why
you
is
do
that?
the 27th? Because
Oh,
it's in 2 days, and I don't know if you should be sitting next to me. I mean, I'm just out. If you're just like one of my regular buddies, but I want to be extra careful with you, Brian.
no, it's a good point.
You know what I mean? Could you do the 27th? You available the 27th?
Oh Christ, maybe.
We'll figure it out off air. We'll figure it out. Okay, I gotta let all of our faithful watch along Patreon members know we're watching something. This is one that I've been looking forward to for literally months. We're watching A Patch of Blue, which is a classic film with Shelley Winters and Sidney Poitier, and I think it's going to be the most fun we've had watching a movie so far. It's a movie that I absolutely love for so many reasons, not all of which are altruistic. I might have been laughing watching it just a couple nights ago, just the opening scenes. It's about a blind girl who lives with her with her very drunk dad and her also sometimes drunk and angry, mean, wicked Shelley Winters.
Sounds hilarious.
They don't care for her. They kind of treat her like garbage. The dad tries. He tries. I think it's her dad. They might not even be parents. I don't know. But it's a lot of like, oh, woe is me. Oh no, I dropped all of my beads. Oh, pick those up, you dumb. It's that kind of thing throughout, and I love
I'm
it.
excited for this.
It's so fun and devastating at the same time. So, all right. And yeah, she gets to go to the park, and that's where she meets Sidney Poitier, who she'll slowly but surely learns about her situation and is appalled, to say the least. So,
all right. Well, that'll be coming up this week or next.
That's we'll figure it out. But we might have to push, Brian. There's no way we're doing it this way. We have to be able to watch in person, right?
Let's do it like this.
No. What did I just say? All right. No music. I'll try and get this figured out, and we'll talk. Thank you very much, guys, for putting up with this situation, and we will talk to you next week.
Once again, was that Stephen Morris, the listener?
Stephen Morris. Oh yeah, you got to do wrap ups.
I do it, but I get he's not my notes. Avery abdicated his responsibilities. Thanks, Stephen Morris, for assigning us the film. Villains. We appreciate you very much being a signer. Plasma Cannon is the feature artist, or are they?
No, they're not. They might be for the next episode, but they're not.
Okay,
right
fuck them. But do go to AndersonandBryan.com for all your Amazon purchases, your last-minute shopping needs for Halloween. There's an Amazon banner that sits right atop the website. Costs you nothing, and it helps us a little bit at the back end. So thank you in advance. That's AndersonandBryan.com. Anderson and Bryan is the Instagram, The Film Vault on Twitter and Facebook, and The Film Vault Podcast on YouTube, where you can see this disaster. Thank you to all of our Patreon listeners. Thank you, Giovanni, Jordan Wolf, Jomo, Jordan Montgomery, Mitch Burns, and Mike Cole. Check out Addie's Antique. Anything new over there?
Yeah, Addie's Antiques is crushing it. We shipped out like I think 15 boxes over the last 48 hours.
Nice.
Yeah, we have not actually been out shopping, but we're posting a bunch of stuff. We're getting caught up on the posting. I just posted a whole bunch of new stuff. So,
cool.
Yeah, we're getting a little like the old hippie cloth, the old 70s, 60s, and 70s like paisleys and that kind of thing. We're finding authentic stuff from there. Yeah.
Check Facebook for Addie's Antiques. Do not check out Invade the Decade. Avery is off fucking around in Europe. And until next time,
we do it for Van Gogh.